Hello, everyone. Once again, this is Dare to Speak. And in this video, I'm going to cover the true history of the Latin Kings. And this is from my own research and also from what I tried to explain in other videos that I uploaded. So, I just want to show you the real perspective of it, to know its true history and what it really means. So here we go. The Latin Kings, just like any other Hispanics back in the early 50s, they came to Chicago. Puerto Rican families, Mexican families, just Hispanics in general, especially Puerto Ricans. When they came by in the early 50s, they pretty much had it rough. They had to go through a lot of racism back then, especially with the white greaser type gangs. One group of Puerto Ricans that formed together because they were being picked on by a lot of the racist white people and the white greaser gangs that they had back then. And they formed a group together, and they called themselves the Crazy Snakes. And which later on in 1960, they called themselves the Spanish Cobras. They changed their name. And same thing with the Maniac Latin Disciples, a group of Puerto Rican kids. They started off as a club, a pocket of kids that they hung around together and being like any typical teenage kids. They had a softball game, a baseball team, and they called themselves the Disciples, which later on they created their own clique, the Latin Disciples, when Albert Hernandez, aka Hitler Hernandez, formed in order to protect themselves and to protect the bloc. The Latin Kings were really no different. They started off as a club in 1953, and throughout the entire 50s, 1950s, and early 60s, they were actually not just a social club, but a group of Hispanics that actually really cared about civil rights, pushing for education, and fighting against racism. And it's something that could have happened very well. And it could have happened very well. They were very good at organizing a bunch of people together in order to fight for their rights. They were very good at it, and there was a lot of information pertaining to it. This was during the 1950s and possibly the early 60s. They're known to be a very strong social club back then. And this, of course, was many years before things got bad and became the violent street gang that we know of today. Because of crooked politicians and just pretty much any kind of corrupted law enforcement, government officials that found them as a threat. In the 60s, they started pouring drugs into the community. And what used to be known as a social club now became a violent street gang, which I said before, it took years for it to happen. And then throughout the 1970's, like in this picture that was taken in the early 70's, was just a group of kids, young adults, that didn't really care about the cause. And now things are just very bad. I had to show those pictures because of the fact that I wanted to show the true history of it. And even though I don't have any more than that in order to show and to explain, I want to just tell everybody that they actually started off as a social club. And a lot of you people really need to look into that, for those of you who don't even know. There's some Latin kings that do know of today. But the point that I'm trying to make, especially with this video right now, is that if they could do what they did last, the last, I don't know, the first 10 years or so when they were getting very good at it, something like that could happen again. There could be a lot of positive stuff with all the Hispanics just uniting together, just trying to fight the bullshit that's happening. Stop all the stupid killing that's happening right now. I mean, good things could happen. Good things could get better. Things could get better. And I just hope that this video makes a good point. So if you have any questions or any comments, just feel free to drop a comment and just tell me what you think. So to all of you, take care.